prophecies more real? I should note here at the beginning that I am not saying that orthodoxy is true because of its prophecies. I do not believe that miracles and prophecies by themselves can prove a faith is true. What makes a convincing prophecy? A lot of it is determined by who it's for, and what its purpose is, as even what skeptics would consider an incredibly vague prophecy can be used in a real holy way. These are the criteria for miracles. They have to be not based upon simple deduction. Risky, i.e. seemed unlikely to be true at the time. Falsifiable, such that it can be disproved rather than fit to any time period. Exceptional, rather than one success among failures. Tamper-proof, something unable to be fit to the prophecy by wannabe fulfillers of prophecy. Precise, such that it is clear what it is predicting before as well as after. I believe that Orthodox prophecies can, more or less, fit all of these criteria. Of course, some more than others, but I will focus on the best examples. Now, to preface, there are not very many Orthodox prophecies that mention specific dates, but I simply believe that is due to our theology, where the timeline of history is in some sense not set in stone. Although there is a certain fate that will happen, repentance can push it back, and sins speed up the end times. So, the prophecies will give general timeframes and orders of events instead. Accuracy here instead comes from the order of events being very specific geopolitical events that follow one after another, with each successive true prophecy becoming more and more improbable, as you shall see, so that by the end it is impossible for that chain of events to line up as prophesied. Like how tossing a coin 1 trillion times and getting heads every time, the odds go up until improbability. First major prophecy I will give is one from a monk from 1053 AD who wished to stay anonymous, or some say it might be from St. Cosmos 1753 AD as a copyist error. Even if a skeptic does not want to believe it is dated that early, the first modern publishing of it was from 1913, which still leaves room for being fulfilled prophecies. Either way, it was providential that it was rediscovered in 1913, since every prophecy occurs directly after its modern rediscovery. The prophecy states that in order, these events will happen. 1. Great European War. 2. Defeat of Germany, catastrophe of Russia and Austria. 3. Defeat of the Turks by the Greeks. 4. Reinforcement of the Turks by the Greeks and defeat of the Greeks. 5. Slaughter of the Orthodox peoples. 6. Great turbulence/anxiety among the Orthodox nations. 7. Invasion of foreign troops from the Adriatic Sea, i.e. Italy, across this sea from Greece. Woe unto those who live on the earth, for Hades is ready. 8. The Hagarene is great for a moment. Hagarene is an old term for Arab Muslims, since they are believed to descend from Ishmael. 9. A new European war. 10. Union of Orthodox nations with Germany. 11. Defeat of the French by the Germans. 12. Revolution in India and its separation from England. In the 20th century, these events happened in order. 1. The Great War, also called WW1, 1914. 2. Germany is defeated in the war. The Austro-Hungarian Empire ends, and Russia falls to communism, 1918. 3. Greece defeats Turks. There is the Treaty of Sèvres, and Greece occupies parts of Turkey in Smyrna, 1920. 4. In Turkey Kemal Atatürk gains power and starts a revolt, 1923. 5. Millions of Orthodox are killed in Turkey, as well as millions killed under communism in Russia, and in Nazi Germany. The Greek genocide, the Serb genocide, the Russian Holodomor and Great Purge, the Armenian genocide. 6. Great turbulence among Orthodox nations. 7. Italy invades Greece, capturing Greek islands in 1912 and going to war officially later around 1939. 8. This could signify the sudden rise of Arab nations with oil fields, first discovered in Saudi Arabia in 1938. 9. The New European War of World War II, 1939. 10. Bulgarians and Romanians, some of the only countries at the time that could reasonably be called Orthodox nations, both allied with Germany circa 1940 to 1944. 11. Defeat of the French by the Germans. Northern half of country is occupied, circa 1940 to 1944. 12. Revolution in India and its separation from England, 1947. These first 12 prophecies have been fulfilled perfectly in line with what we would expect. There are more, but I won't go into detail. But the next two are. A 13, England will be left to the Saxons alone. A 14, victory of the Orthodox nations and general slaughter of the sons of Hagar, again, meaning Turkish and Arab Muslims, by the Orthodox. This is highly relevant with the collapse of all of Britain's colonies, Brexit, and pushes for greater Scottish independence. And the 14th prophecy here would be interpreted in line with other Orthodox prophecies over the centuries that speak of the same thing as being Russia invading Turkey to start WW3, which seems potentially ever closer to us today. St. Paisios prophesied in detail that when Greece will extend its nautical limit in the Aegean dispute, Turkey will go to war with Greece. Turkey will close off the straits which causes Russia to invade Turkey for access to the Mediterranean, and then the EU steps in and WW3. Thus the prophecy of victory over the Hagarenes is interpreted as a future Russia conquering Turkey. Someone might say that these aren't in order. Generally they are, but it depends on how you interpret the official, beginning and endings of different events. For a man presumably seeing such things through spiritual visions and writing down what he sees, I don't see why it needs to be perfect to what our governments would consider the beginning and end. Is this prophecy vague? Some of them, but in general it is very specific. It certainly isn't common events, and was incredibly unlikely to expect these things either in 1053 or 1913, is not based on hearsay but a historical document. It is exceptional as each comes true except more future events. It is precise enough that someone in 1914 seeing that it said the war would end with Germany's defeat could bet on it, and on the overturning of Greek victory, a future Orthodox genocide, an Italian invasion of Greece, etc., and be completely right, even if he didn't have the details. I don't see how someone can deny this fitting the earlier criteria without sophistry or moving the goalposts to demand prophecies can only be valid if they have specific dates. And certainly if the future events of WW3 come true, it should make you believe. Another example. Elder Aristocleus told people rejoicing about the end of World War I that, but there will be another war. Only do not rejoice then. Many Russians will think that the Germans will deliver Russia from Bolshevik government, but this is not so. True, the Germans will enter Russia and will do much there, but they will leave, for the time of salvation, i.e. end of communism, will not yet have come. That will be later. The Life of Elder Aristocleus, Moscow 2003, Dependency of the Russian Monastery of St. Panteleimon on Mt. Athos, pages 18 to 25. Aristocleus also prophesied before the Soviet Revolution, an evil will shortly take Russia, and wherever this evil goes, rivers of blood will flow. It is not the Russian soul, but an imposition on the Russian soul. It is not an ideology, nor a philosophy, but a spirit from hell. In the last days Germany will be divided. France will be just nothing. Italy will be judged by natural disasters. Britain will lose her empire and all her colonies and will come to almost total ruin, but will be saved by praying enthroned women. America will feed the world, but will finally collapse. Russia and China will destroy each other. So he got right that? 1. Russia falls to communism. 2. Germany is split in two. 3. France is conquered. 4. Britain loses all her colonies. 5. America becomes a breadbasket and world power that is now in decline. 6. That they would all happen in this general order. There are a few other good examples of prophecies I can give. But even one example of a true prophecy should in principle be enough to prove supernatural origin, if one accepts that it has passed the criteria required, which this absolutely has. Skeptics faced with a true prophecy would just claim it was a hoax or obvious all along or something like that. Confirmation bias is a hell of a drug.